Okay guys, I'm back. So this is my little piece what I made. You see how it's beautiful to work with delicate beads. They are so nice and they are fitting like a bricks. Beautiful. Okay, what we are going to do first? We are going to first sew in our tail thread. Take this stopper bead, you just take it like this and slide it down the thread. Done. Now, I usually have next to my working needle, I also have one other needle here on my bead mat, what I use exactly for this kind of situations. And this one is shorter. This one is smaller than my regular needle because that gives me more space to work with that little thread what I left. So thread that needle, doesn't matter, maybe you are going to use the same needle, so thread the needle with the tail thread. And now if I can only see from here, well, I have to take it from here because of the light. Okay, thread your needle with the tail thread, and now we are going to secure those first two rows sewing in the tail thread. We are now here, our thread exit here. What we can do, we have to follow the path of the thread. So in this case we can go here through the next, and we have to pass through the next bead what is below and above, or above, depends how you keep your work, of the thread of the bead where your thread exit. And now just pull the thread out, and now we are going to pass a zigzag through the beads. Or I will show you later on what you can also make some knots between those two beads, or those two beads. But let's first do it on this way. We are here now. Where you can go through and pass through this bead or this bead. So let's go down, let's go through the next bead. You choose where you want, because from those two doesn't matter. And then pass through that bead. Pull the thread totally out. We don't want the thread is visible. Now we can go more diagonal, yeah? We can go next through the next bead. Pull the thread. Now we also can go up, back. We can go back. We can turn and go back. That is also the possibility. You see the thread? Pull. Now you don't see it. Okay, I want to go now through those two diagonals. Pass through the bead above or below, depends, through the bead, from the bead where the thread exit, and then through the next bead diagonal, and pull. So it has to fit between those beads that you don't see them. Okay, now this is probably enough. Wait a moment, because I'm going to lose my thread. But what you can still do, if you are somewhere here and if you want to make your work safe, you can pass between, underneath the thread, between that bead where your thread exit and the next bead. You have to find it first, and here it is. So you are underneath the thread between those two beads, and before you pull the thread out, pass through the loop. You can pass once, and that is okay, and pull a little bit more. But you can pass also twice through the same loop, and then you make fantastic, and then you pull really tight. Then you make amazing knot. And now pass further so that knot fit in somewhere in the make that knot to place somewhere in the next beads. Now it's hidden. Now it's in probably the next bead here. And now it's okay. Now you made it good. You can go also more here, diagonal like this. Pull the thread out. Done. Okay, that was the tail thread. The same thing we are going to do with the working thread and then when we are starting. So the principle of passing through the beads is the same. Okay. Now, but what I want to tell you, there is not so much projects what you can finish only with one thread. And I always say in my tutorials, thread your needle with a long thread, but still comfortable to work with. Because really, there is not so much projects what you can finish with only one thread. Second, you should not be afraid. Please don't be afraid of starting with a new thread. I just show you the knot what is so safe and you secure your work fantastic. And if you make more of those kind of knots, 1, 2 knots, 3 knots, you are done. You don't have to think about that your work is not safe or that will fall apart. So don't be afraid. Just work with the thread what is comfortable. If you take 2-3 meters of thread, you will need 3 minutes to pull it all out. So that's not how it's that's not a joy anymore. That's not the fun anymore. The only thing what you're doing is to pull out the thread. So okay, this is our working thread, and let's say we have to finish our with our thread because we don't have enough. Yeah, I have more than enough, but okay. What we are doing the same. So from this speed where our thread exit, we can go, for example, how much you can pass with your needle. But take care, because all these beads are very fragile. The peyote stitch is a very because of the tension. If your tension was high, then your work is not going to be so much flexible, and you might break a bead. Okay, I have a lesson with how to fix the problem when you break a bead, but just don't push it. Don't push it. This is already hard to pass, so I will give up and I will pass maybe through 2. And this is it. Pull the thread out. Then let's go again. Let's go toward up. Then I go 2 up diagonal. So you see where is my thread here through this piece. So I can go up through those 2 beads diagonal. Then I can go even more diagonal. I can go to those 2. You see? And now again, let's do the knot. Pass underneath the thread between this up bead and the bead from the previous row, and pull the thread out. Here is the loop. Let's make now 1 only pass through the loop and pull the thread tight. Then pass through the next bead like this. You can watch this video. You don't have to follow my route at all, because you can make your own route through the beads. Now, avoid to come out totally through those beads on the edge. Avoid that, because you don't want that the thread is so thick on the side. When you cannot avoid, yes, pass. But when you can avoid, don't pass through those beads. So if I'm here now, if I'm coming up through this bead, I will go back, because I don't want to use those edge beads. Go back and pull the thread. I mean, this is already enough, you can go more to, you can go again, now we can go, for example, back through those 2 or not. No, let's go down. Let's go down 2 like this. And oops, this is my light box in my, sorry. So And that's it. That is more than enough. Okay, cut your thread. And what we are going to do now, we are going to start again. And how? I usually, because I said we always start in even count peyote stitch from the open side. So that means that when we add a new thread, we have to exit with a new thread through that bead in that direction. So our thread has to go out here. That is one option, that you have the whole row finished and you are starting and putting the thread through your work and exiting here. Okay. The other is that, and sometimes I do that, especially when I have a lot of colors and everything. I just make a few beads in the row. I start a new row, and then I go through the beads and finish my old thread. So then I see for sure where I am, how the things are going. But this is also very, very convenient, and this is very safe. You see here, I didn't pull the thread enough good, and you can see the thread. That's what I said. Pull the thread strong, tight, and then you see, I took it out. What you can do also with this little thread, you can use the lighter. Please don't, but be careful. You can use the lighter and burn the thread, and it will be even more secure because you will have a little bump on the end. Okay, let's forget this. I will take care about it later. We have to exit, like I said, we have to exit through this bead like this. This bit. We can start wherever you want. We can start, for example, here. For example, here. So you just look. You don't have to follow me exactly how I'm doing. You just follow just to know the system, how this is working. And now I have to go from here. I have to go through the beads and exit finally there. Okay, I can go more. I can go more diagonal there. Wait a moment. Keep the tail, of course. Keep the tail with your thumb all the time until you have some. Now I can go like this until you think it's safe to let go. So now I go like this. Pull. Now I will go up to that bead. Okay, now I know that I have a knot here. I'm not going to make another one. I will pass through this bead again, and I will now start to go back. For example, like this. I'm starting to go back in order to exit here. Okay, now I go through the next one, and here I'm going to make my double knot between those two beads, up bead and bead from the previous row. I'm going to make a double knot. Pull the thread, one pass through the loop, two passes through the loop. Keep the loop smaller, because if you make a loop longer, you will need to pull more and you can maybe damage the whole construction. So keep it smaller as possible, because then it's easier. Then I've wrapped it like this because you really have to pull tight. Okay, now listen, when you look at now forget this one, this is the tail thread, yeah? Now I'm going to pull this thread, and if you see that my tail thread is moving, that means I didn't make a good job. I didn't do the good job. I didn't make a good knot or whatever. So I'm pulling like a crazy, and my tail threads stay where it is. That means the work is secured. Okay, now you can just go and pass through the rest of the beads. The rest of the beads, and I am out on the place where I have to be. Then you cut this one. If this one is too short that you cannot cut it, just where is the lighter? Wait a moment, I will show you. Didn't think about this, that can happen. Luckily I have a lighter. Where it is? Okay, so it is really a small piece, so I take the lighter and done. This can you can also later on push it a little bit with your needle in, and well, you can go even more, but take care, you don't want to destroy the beads. So play with it, in case that happened to you, play with that and just push it a little bit with your needle in the beads, but you can't do it with the lighter. So that is about new thread, old thread, tail thread, and see you in the next lesson.